So without further ado, Mr. Sinclair.
Thank you. Guys, I know throughout the summer everybody's doing different things and going different places, and I want to present a group of boys here that spent some time in Cambodia installing solar electricity, some rural villages. They're going to explain their project to you, and then following that is going to be a group of boys that went to South Africa and did some service work over there.
So last summer we went to Cambodia, and we donated some light bulbs and solar board to the local people live on the lake called Dong Le Sap. So we helped the local people set up the whole system, and there were no electricity lights on the lakes, and I thought they were really poor. I believe our program can really change this situation. Well, our idea came up kind of randomly. My dad, last spring he went to Cambodia for a vacation, and he took some videos, and I saw, I looked at it, I saw some poor peoples, and I can't believe the people in Cambodia were so poor. So I kind of come up with an idea of community service. Then people were supporting and joining the program.
So this is the houses they pretty much lived in. As you can see, it's pretty much a boat. And so those people are really poor. This is a little bit better house. As you can see, it's made by some like scrap metal and wood put together. And the lake is very, very dirty. They do everything there. So I don't know what to talk about.
As you let you know the project, here's some video clips. So this is how we set up and connect the solar board to the light bulbs. Yeah.
Who else went with you on the trip, Kimmy?
Bobby, Raymond, Tiger, and Cardigan.
So there's 6 of you guys?
5.
5 of you guys?
This is how we put up the solar board. Like the roof is very sturdy, so we had to have one of those kids to help us put it on.
By the way, the kid on the roof is older than me.
This is, so when the water is very shallow, we had to get on one of these smaller boats to go to another person's house to set up the stuff. And it's very scary because the boat's very wiggly and it's very small. And those people sometimes even had to get in the dirty lake and push us with the boat because they wanted the solar power so bad.
So this was just a brief introduction for this program. This is a long-term program. We will be doing this for a long time. And from what I know for sure, next year there will be more and more people joining the program. So
here's the boys that went with Kimmy to the trip.
And they raised some money for us to buy these stuffs. Thank you.
Myself and 6 other Cardigan students went to South Africa this summer as part of a 4-week-long community service project. So the beginning of that trip, we started with Dartmouth. So we stayed on the Dartmouth campus, and we really focused on education. Obviously, since we're at Dartmouth, that's what we wanted to focus on, because we had several different teachers at our disposal that we could use to really develop our skills on both writing and leadership, as well as how to give a good presentation. And so we utilized the tools of a ropes course to work together in order to serve as orientation for the trip and kind of build ourselves up. So while we were on Dartmouth, we stayed at the dining hall, and we were on the campus. You know, we were behaving as a Dartmouth student might. except for the long hours and tireless nights. Anyway.
So Nkosini was the first place we went to in Africa. It was very different from our home, so we had to adapt to different environments, like making our own food, not being able to drink faucet water, or just going to bathrooms that have no electricity. And it was different, but we got used to it, and we actually had a lot of fun. And Kobe School was a school that we went to. It was supposed to be funded by government, but it hasn't been in 7 years. So they still have 2 classrooms and have around 50 students that have very little supplies. So we got textbooks with pencils and things like that for them. But in Nkosini, we mostly did labors. So we did fire control and barbed wires. And fire control is where we burn dry grass to prevent other wildfires from coming in and then letting the fertile soil grow. And barbed wire was when we cut barbed wire, like metal wire strips from fences, because it would prevent the animals from roaming freely and them to migrate. And the last thing we did, it was actually pretty fun. It was like survival skills. So we got a machete, like an African traditional knife, and we survived for 5 hours, all alone, usually like building a shelter with like trees and finding food and things like that.
So the week after Nkosini, we stayed at Makalali Game Reserve. And the main thing we did at Makalali was we went on game drives and we recorded basically every animal we saw, including all types of birds, elephants, buffaloes, and many other predators. And some side activities we did as well as game drives were scavenger hunt, and we visited an orphanage. And during the scavenger hunt, we mainly focused on navigating through the woods and tracking animals. And for some details for the orphanage, before we went to the orphanage, we had some assumptions and misconceptions about the orphanage because we heard that they had diseases such as HIV and AIDS. But when we got there, it was really an eye-opening experience because we knew that transferring of disease was not possible in the way we talked to the kids. So we saw how little they had, but to be honest, they were one of the happiest kids I've ever seen. And we kind of had a good time to reflect on ourselves, how much we had, but how much we complained in our daily lives. And it was really an eye-opening experience compared to the kids in the orphanage.
So we went to a soccer program called Seha Soccer Program, and we play soccer with local kids, and the village name is Limpopo, I believe. And we practiced soccer with them, and we brought full bags of hockey bags of soccer cleats that we collected after soccer season or football season, and we gave them out. And we ate African traditional food for lunch. It's not really different from American food, I think.
Yeah. So and then while there we also we lived on this the home of an owner of an orange plantation. It's while there we learned about the South African agriculture and economy and how orange plantations will work. We visited their site, and and the owner talked to us about how different countries he would export his oranges to different countries, and how they would have to be regulated, and how there was a certain person that was very important in this process, the regulator. And while there, we also participated in some pretty fun little activities, such as we had a slingshot tournament, and we went fishing, but we had some handmade fishing rods that we made ourselves from branches, which didn't work very well. And we attempted to search for food in the wild. We had 3 hours, and we just wandered around, and nobody found anything but some insects that were barely edible. But that was a eye-opening experience, and it was great to see. It was a really fun week in general.
So the last few days, of our trip to South Africa was at the South African Leadership Academy, which is a boarding high school for kids in South Africa and around the world who aspire to be leaders in the growing global economy, such as our mission statement here at Cardigan states, as well as leaders in their own community. A lot of the kids that go to the African Leadership Academy progress on to high prestigious Ivy League schools such as Harvard, Dartmouth, and Andover, or Harvard, Dartmouth, and Yale. While we were there, we learned traditional African drumming, and that was great because it really taught us a lot about the communication methods that were used in older African cultures, as well as how it's used currently. And while we were there, we really reflected on our program and what we took out of our experiences. Because throughout the 3 weeks, we did a lot of different things, and we had a lot of different people work with us. And so we really took those 3 days to kind of debrief what we thought about the program and really build on that and how, what we're going to take away from our experience. So as we look back on that now, the program is going to run again next year, and spots are filling up quick. So if you're interested in the South African Community Leadership Program, please talk to Mr. Sinclair, and he'll fill you in with the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Any of you interested in doing some kind of service activity like that? There's a lot of other programs out there, not only overseas, but there's some domestic programs. So if that's something you want to do in the summer, instead of maybe going for a month or you want to go for a week, please come see me. I know a lot of other programs that we can kind of line you up with if it's something you're kind of interested in doing. Thanks to the boys who presented and for taking some time this summer to help other people. I think it's a really important part of your education. And again, guys, please come see me if it's something you're interested in doing as well.